Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Z2X. I'm joined here again by,
X,
and
mom, the mom.
what are we going to be talking about here today?
Well, we're going to talk about what everybody is talking about, and that would be
The Super Bowl.
halftime show.
Yeah, and I
Because
mean the Super Bowl too.
yeah, you're right. Because you know more about it because you had friends that were watching it.
I got a few.
Nobody I know watched it. They're like,
Yeah, I
whatever,
don't
we're
think you
so
know
over
anyone
it.
that's into football.
No, not even your dad. I probably, and your dad even jokes that I know more about the teams and football than he does.
Yeah, I barely
And
know anything about these teams.
I
In
was surprised that the Seahawks won because they really weren't that great of a team. There's ones that were way better,
well,
but
from what I heard, all of my friends were like, "Yeah, it's about expected to have happened."
that they won.
Yeah, for them to win.
Well, yeah, because the Patriots weren't that good this year either. I mean, I'm just surprised that both of them, but it is
Well,
what it is.
they don't have Tom Brady.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Usually, and but then they have the Patriot. There's ball that was flattened. That whole drama. Anyway, flat gate, or I don't know the name of what it was saying, but your dad and I were joking about it. Anyway, so this year though, what we're talking about is what everybody's talking about is not the game because the game was a nothing burger.
No one really
For
cared.
yeah, it would didn't I mean the Seahawks did good. They won obviously, and I think it's been a long time. But the whole thing that most people were talking about was the Bad Bunny show, and most people were like whatever, it was a blah show. But then I was like, so I thought you and your friends were going to be watching it because that's what you guys, I think, thought you did last year. But
Uh,
you guys ended up doing other stuff, right?
yeah, we're playing Deadlock really, just like, and
You're like,
we
I'm playing a video game. Fuck this.
yeah, I'm like I don't think any of us even thought about it until like some of the other guys that like had like parties or whatever pulled up and they're like, "Yo, it sucked."
Uh, they were at parties, but they're still texting everybody and talking to them. Yeah.
No, they when they hopped into the voice call like after these parties like ended.
Oh, got you. Gotcha. Yeah. And so I jumped on the Turning Point USA because that was what we're talking about, the compare contrast between the two,
Hmm.
because one was like very controversial, the Bad Bunny. He's a kind of a tool. I think he is. I don't think nobody even knew who he was. So it's kind of one of the stupidest ones to have their play. And it was all performative because he's Puerto Rican. I don't even think that he won his the Grammy Awards, but see, nobody knew who he was. So I feel like that was kind of a, I'm not going to say it's rigged because that's ridiculous,
Well, he's
but
popular in some Spanish speaking communities or whatever. I mean, like his numbers on
exactly.
Spotify aren't bad. I can check them right now. Like
Well, you know, so we live in an area where there's a ton of Puerto Ricans, right?
yeah.
And they have a Facebook post for our community, and some of the people were like, "Hey, everybody, how did you feel about this?" And about 60% of them said, "What the heck? That was disgusting. I didn't even want my children to listen to that. I turned it off." And I was like, "Whoa," because they're like, they go, he sings horrible. Apparently that's what they were all saying.
Well, we
And
talked
then
about it before. It sounds like he sings with
yeah,
Down syndrome, is what people
yeah,
say.
he mumbles and stuff, but I'm just going from, because I'm not a Spanish speaker, but we live in a community where there's a lot of Spanish speakers.
Hmm.
And they were like, other people were like, whatever, it was a nothing burger type thing, it was, they don't really like him, or some of them didn't even know him. They're even from Puerto Rico and they don't even know him. So I was like, oh, I'm going to look at some statistics because I jumped on specifically because I thought you were going to be watching the halftime show. And so if we want to do this podcast, I'm like, I'll jump on the Turning Point USA one. And they had Brantley Gilbert, of course, Kid Rock, because he was the highlighter, Lee Bryce, and Gabby Barkett. I think that's how you say her name. I don't know any of them but Kid Rock. But they were good. They sang very well. It was very patriotic. Obviously they were, because that's what they were going for. It wasn't all glitzy, but they sang really well and it looked like everybody was having fun in there. So I did a screenshot before, what right when it started, in the middle, and after. And when I was looking at all the people that watched it, I was actually quite surprised at how
Mm-hmm.
many people logged on. And just the YouTube, but I switched over and kind of looked at their they have a Rumble page also.
Yeah.
And the the YouTube one, when it started, was 4.7 million were watching. And then in the middle of it, when the chick Gabby was playing, it was 6.1 million. Although some people said it was less than that, but it wasn't because I screenshotted it. And then it went back to 4.9 and then 7
Mm-hmm.
million when Kid Rock finished it. But I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. And then I sent you that other one where they said they did the statistics. Did you see that?
Yeah.
And did you read it?
I only partially read it. Could you explain it to me and to the
Just
audience
a minute.
because I.
I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me.
All right.
Sorry. So I was reading it because again, I was like, I jumped. I wasn't watching the football, but like I said, we live in an area where there are prominently Puerto Ricans and Cubans. We have a lot of Cubans, but
Yep.
mostly Puerto Ricans. And and when I was told you about the Facebook posts, there were a lot of them were like, I just turned it off. I didn't watch it. So I was looking at it said that it was down 39% from last year, the halftime time show. So last year it was 48.6 million tuned into the game,
Mm-hmm.
and nearly
Oh
half of the
yeah.
American this year
Yeah, I saw that
48 point
statistic.
yeah, so it said 48.6 million tuned into the game, but it went dropped down to 26.5 millions who actually stayed during the halftime.
To
That
be
was a
to be fair,
39% drop.
to be fair, Kendrick Lamar, especially during that year, was like the number one artist by like a significant margin. He was like viral. Like
But no, the year before that though, when they had, or not the year before that, when they had um uh Eminem. Let me look it up. What was the numbers for Super Bowl? I don't even know which Super Bowl it was.
it would be Super Bowl. Is it once every 4 years or once every year?
It's every year.
Wouldn't that just be 2024 then? Because 2025 was Kendrick.
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to look up if it was
Yeah, Super Bowl
with Eminem. I think it was when we still lived in
features held in the featuring surprise Alicia Keys, hers, Lil Jon, Ludacris, and William. I guess Ludacris.
it was 22. And oh my God, so get this. So
Yeah.
this is what I looked at. So it was 103.4 million viewers for the halftime show in 2022.
Yeah, it was 129 in 2024.
Yeah, so 2024 it went up and then it went down. This is what his was, 26.5 million. That is a huge drop.
I'm looking here.
Holy macro.
It says 135 million here.
For what?
For
Kendra?
Well, for Bad Bunny's 2026, 2025. I think.
Oh no, that is for right now. Okay, you need to figure this out. So that's like I'm talking about on the day of, and that's what I'm looking at. The live show.
Let's see.
So and yeah. So you have to look up the actual viewership of the live one because afterwards it'll go up, and that's what I'll talk about in just a second because I looked at it that day, that night, and then I looked at it again in the morning because people are like, oh, I just wanted to watch the show. I just turned off all of them. I didn't want to watch anything, but I'll go watch it later. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it said that it actually, for the one of Dr. Dre and all those guys, it was an increase by 315%. It went up. So, and then they got another 61 million YouTube views the next day added. So, so then when you go back to see the statistics for Bunny, the Bad Bunny, right now, which is pretty good. Right now, the total for the YouTube is 54 million. So it was 16 million the day after on the YouTube. This isn't like, because they talk about live ones, like what I was telling, like there's 100 and some odd million on one a couple years ago. Anyway, and then the Turning Point USA the day after was 19.5 million, which is a lot for, I mean, because if you're doing compare and contrast, Turning Point USA is like nothing compared to the Super Bowl. And Lady Gaga was on there. You know what I mean? Anyway, so clearly now it's been a couple days, and the Turning Point one is now 21 million people have watched it. But like I said, the YouTube one is 54 million. So it jumped from 16 million the day after to 54. But they're saying right now, though, it was still a 39% decrease from last year. I can't imagine that looking very good
I mean,
anyway. But I think it was just a political stunt. They didn't expect it was going to be big. They just wanted to show their hand, that they're like a big middle finger to the Trump administration. That's what I think. I don't think they even cared, truthfully, about it. But I also looked at different parts of that, because not only was the YouTube one, but you forget they have Rumble on Turning Point USA, and that's where they're actually a lot more popular. And during the actual halftime show on Turning Point USA, they had on the Rumble channel, they had over 2 million. So really, if they had the 6 point something, because that's what I screenshotted, it was 6.7 at the height, and then they had 2 million. So they basically had over 8 million watching during the show, during
yeah.
the Super Bowl, which is, for them, that's pretty big. That's pretty big. Anyway, but again, I didn't know any of the singers, so when they're playing, I was like, only person I know is Kid Rock, and I was not a big Kid Rock fan. Not that I was against him or anything, but it was my kind of genre. Although he was fun, he was fine. Um, anyway, what I was gonna go into was apparently a senator. I don't even know what senator is gonna do it. Did you look that up?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so I didn't, because obviously he was singing in Spanish, and that's what some of the people on the Facebook group was like, "Oh my gosh, that dirty mouth! I'm not listening. My kids, I can't believe that was on the air." And so most Americans don't speak Spanish, especially in a song like that, because, like you said, he slurs his words. Um, read some of the lyrics, because I'm not reading them.
I don't think you're actually allowed to read some of them without getting demonetized.
I know. Okay, just so you know, people, they're that bad. They're disgustingly hypersexual, drug use. What else is in there?
Well, yeah, like it's basically just imagine your average rap song talking about like girls and these hot women and how they want to copulate with them and do all sorts of um stimulants and drugs and all that stuff, and that's
Yeah,
basically it.
that was it. Yeah, and having more than one woman and being extremely promiscuous. Um, look it up, people. I mean, I'll try to put a link on here. That one link I gave you to the lyrics. You're like, oh my god, that was so. It's Randy Fine. He's a Florida Republican, and he was saying that he thinks that the Federal Communications Commissions, the FCC, he's putting that they demand to fine them, the NBC and NFL, because of what he had said. And the disgusting, illegal, and alleged the show, it contained explicit, pornographic, and profane content, which is true. It did. And
Yeah.
you like, what was the thing that you said when I gave you the lyrics? You're
Um.
like,
Oh my god. Let me check here.
you
Yeah. I,
were talking about Hispanic children.
yeah. Oh yeah. Those little Spanish kids that are like hearing it.
Yeah, it's like apparently you don't care if the non-English speakers are hearing this trash, but but you don't care if the little kids hear it either, because that's what all the people on the Facebook were saying. They're like, that is disgusting. Like a lot of the people didn't even know who he was or what kind of music he played from this area. I can only use my small representation, but we do live in a very Puerto Rican Cuban state. So yeah, I was like, well, I guess they don't care if the Spanish speaking kids are insulted and hearing trash coming out from these people's mouths. I just found it like disgusting, because it's true. If it was in English, it never would have been able to be broadcast.
All right.
Do you know what I mean?
I know who we really need to show up for Super Bowl 2027.
Yeah.
We
Who?
need our Lord and Savior, Kanye West.
Oh my God, disgusting. That would be even worse. Shut up.
Dude, it would go crazy. You like start the show with the piano of Runaway Man, the ding ding
He was in a
ding.
Super Bowl. He did do a Super Bowl once already.
Wait,
I
hold
can't
on.
remember which Super Bowl, but he has one because I want to say that we were at Alexa and Steve's for that Super Bowl that he was at.
He has never been on the Super Bowl. However, he has been he did an advertisement in 2025 where it was
Uh-huh.
just like him like recording. He's like, "Yeah, I just got like that picture right there. It's like he was done with the dentist or something and he was like not dentist. It was he was just like
It looks like a dentist.
actually I think it was the dentist and then he's um like I spent all the money on the slot and I couldn't get the actual like any budgeted, so go to Yeezy.com. And like that was literally basically it was 30 seconds of him just being like, yeah, I'm Kanye West, go to Yeezy.com.
Well, I don't I never I you and I we did a video about this that last year when they first said that Bad Bunny was going to play cuz nobody knew who he was. And I thought it was the stupidest thing for the NFL and I saw a bunch of interviews with the football players and they're like I don't know who Bad Bunny is. I don't know I don't even know the music. I don't know the genre. It's like why would you be so in a world that's so divisive already, a country that we're already so divisive that you would put that kind of stupid crap up there that would create even more divisiveness. And he was doing everybody's like, oh, it's okay. He said, God bless America, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I couldn't care less. But the way that he was almost like a caravan, you know how the people from the South were caravanning into the United States?
Yeah.
That's what he was portraying in that in the halftime show. And so I felt like it was a big insult to because he doesn't believe in boundaries. He's a big socialist. I just feel like it was a big insult to a lot of people, and I just feel like it's more divisive. I don't understand why these entertainers they're alienating 39% down 39% down. That means they're alienating half of their and not even that some people were like me who were apathetic going I don't care, I'll watch the halftime show or not, but I thought you were watching it, so that's why I turned on to the Turning Point one. But I mean, some of the people were just at a party or something, or like whatever, that wouldn't ever have chosen that either. I'm just like, why wouldn't they choose somebody that's not Kanye West, Dallin?
Who would they choose?
I would like Jelly Roll. Come
Uh
on, he's like won
one
Grammys.
second.
He's everybody likes him.
I just got a
You
spot
know,
spam call. 1 second. There you go.
I got one too today, not too long ago
They're
about
from Montgomery, New Jersey.
somebody charged such and such for your Apple on your Apple. It's like I don't have an Apple, so it's like this new scam that they're trying to do. Anyway, but Jelly Roll, there was one that we talked about before, and he even won the Grammy too. Like, and everybody knows him. I mean, I really truthfully I don't care about the language, although I think it's better that you do speak the English because it's an English speaking country. Granted, we do have a lot of Hispanic speakers, but I can go back to my Facebook thing where people were like they thought it was stupid and ridiculous. They just thought it was pandering and they didn't like it either. Apparently, we must live in an area where a lot of the Puerto Ricans are more conservative. I would from the post, you know. But anyway, that's all. I was just going to talk about the numbers, and I was really surprised. I was really surprised that Turning Point USA got so many views. And I guess they're going to
Oh.
do another one next year.
Also,
I'm going to look it up because it's probably going to get more. My whole point was I was surprised that Turning Point USA got as much as they
yeah.
did. I was very,
No,
very
yeah,
surprised.
that is very
And
good. I actually was surprised. It also made me realize I
and
didn't realize how many people watched the Super Bowl live. I'm gonna be honest.
yeah, oh my God, it's a huge. It is it is a family pastime. It's like a big American heritage, and I think that's why a lot of people were like, "Oh my God,
Offended.
are you
Yeah.
kidding me that you did this?" And Lady Gaga anymore, she's losing a lot of not favor. Like she pissed off the Japanese when she started talking about immigration in Japan when she was doing her
Oh my
tour.
God, I
Like
remember that. You're
how
like,
stupid are you? Like these people are the most subjective that they're like, if you don't conform to me, you're out of here. And they're done with everybody, truthfully. Japan is. They're like
Yeah.
freaking kicking everybody out. They're rolling up in their burrito and their sushi roll,
That is probably
get
the most
kicking them out.
racist thing you said today.
Well, because that's that thing I showed you that it was from Japan, and someone was in Japan on their X thing I sent you. They're like, "Oh, look at they're rolling up the
Yeah.
illegals in a sushi roll," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe they said that."
But
But
it's
they
it's
said
just
it.
it's
I
just funny
didn't.
out of context. You're like, they rolled them up in a little sushi roll. They
Oh
got
my
them in a little
gosh, I would
sushi roll.
never. I would never, 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 never. No, I mean, I didn't. We even said to me, Bad Boy or Bad Bunny sounded stupid. He didn't dress like a woman, so that's good because usually he wears those prosthetic breasts and skirts, so that was good. But I didn't think it was going to be like a big deal because I mean they can't. But now his lyrics, the FCC probably will find them. If I had to bet, they probably will. But my whole point was why would the Super Bowl even do that? I think it's just so stupid to continue the divisiveness. So now I guess Turning Point USA is going to do another one next year, because they had so many people show up basically for it, which again, surprise. I don't know who these people are. They're country
Yeah.
singers, and I don't listen to music. I listened to it in the car when you were little because none of the other music, it wouldn't be offensive.
It's very inoffensive. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I definitely, when you were little, I never, because when you started repeating words from the music radio, I just stopped listening to regular radio because I don't want my child saying, "Smack it up, where's your wet beep 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 beep." Um, but I don't know. I just think this is where it bothered me. Now that we're coming to an end, I don't even know when we started this. Um, I feel like if this continues, we are we're basically creating parallel
Worlds.
entertainment. And yeah, we're separating more and more and more. And Super Bowl had the power to bring people more together. I don't want a parallel entertainment like that. I want us to share commonalities of our culture. The Super Bowl is a culture, right?
Yeah.
That is a very American halftime culture. I mean, we've gone to tons of Super Bowl parties, and I just found it was I think it's they're dropping the ball. Whoever's in charge of their entertainment, I can't remember the person's name. I remember watching a video on it. But if it's going to continue, like Turning Point USA is going to do it next year. And who knows who they're going to have. I mean, because let's face it, that's a lot of people that they had. And that was only done like when Bad Bunny was brought into the mix that they
Yeah.
decided to do their
Oh,
own. And it was very last minute.
yeah. I can 100% see that. Also,
Like,
I was just checking. Man, and sometimes I do feel like there's certain facts and certain people that I see that make you do feel like you're in a parallel world. I also think it's a lot of normie
yeah.
people that I'm like, I just don't interact with these groups because apparently
Yeah.
Bad
Most
Bunny
normie
was
people
like
don't.
bad. Well, here's the thing: it's like because we're not, I wouldn't consider us normies, but then you look at these people and you just never hear people talk about it. It's just that sometimes it feels like, man, you're in a completely different world, right? Because
Yeah.
also like Bad Bunny was like is apparently like sometimes number one on Spotify, like for
Oh.
like he's the most like in the most recent
Now,
metrics.
did he become number one when they first announced that he was going to be on the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
That's something that we could look at
Well,
because that probably brought him into stardom when people were like, "What? Who the f is Bad Bunny?" You know?
I mean, they said that he got like an 80 million listener boost after the Super Bowl
Yeah.
too.
See,
But
that's
even
what I'm
pre Super
saying.
Bowl, it's still. I'm asking right
He,
now. Let me check. When did he become number one on Spotify?
yeah. See, that's what I'm wondering if that was just a big jump for his career. Which goes to show you again, it's a parallel. I don't like it, but it's parallel. Like there's two sides, and the people in the middle. Where are we supposed to choose? I guess
I
we're
mean,
just gonna tune out. We
remind
just tune out.
reminds me of those people that are like the all I'm gonna say is it's like the like white girls on Twitter or whatever that are like or these girls on Twitter like just posting like the most like I'm just gonna say like bitchy gifs or whatever from like Wicked or
Oh
whatever
yeah,
shows like girls with
yeah,
those long like nails and I'm like dude I can't believe these people exist like
yeah.
there's human beings out there
Uh huh.
um Also, apparently, I just checked. So he was number one in 2020. He got a 2021, and then 2021, 2022, and then 2025.
So he has been. It's just
The
somebody like he's not
or
normal
yeah,
mainstream.
end of year titles there through cumulative streams, like with 8.3 billion in 2020, and then like 18 billion 2022, and then like 19.8. Reclaimed the spot after Taylor Swift held it in 2023 and 2024. So he's like,
Oh,
he was bigger
he's
than Taylor Swift
yeah,
actually
he
on some
is.
of these.
Yeah.
So like when you think, it's just, again, I guess I'm in a completely different world. I don't know. To me, maybe that's a little reality check for me too, I guess, because I'm like,
Yeah, for me also, but I just found like I just think that entertainment or that new genre that he has is I don't like the lyrics, but obviously in Spanish I don't know.
I'll listen
Um,
to some of his songs after we're done with this, just
but I
see
think that
how
it's just
it
like I
goes.
don't like Cardi B's music either because they're trashy. I'm not going to listen to anybody's music that is trashy. It's just disgusting. It's like think why don't and it just shows you and your dad says this a lot. He's like when people who cuss a lot, it shows their lack of good vocabulary. They don't have a good range of vocabulary. And he's told me that, and because I'm a cusser, and I'm like, "Are you insulting me?" And he's like, "I'm not insulting you. I'm just saying that you're smarter than that." And he's right. But it's just one of those, we're definitely impulsive when we can't find when we're just like, oh fuck it, we'll just say that because we're like, who cares? But so I guess we are out of touch, you
Yeah,
know.
because yeah,
But
then looking here, it's like he's yeah, like before, even before Spotify, like the Wrapped and all this stuff, and but yeah, I mean, you're 100% right, I think, and about the swearing also. Like I think that there's people that use it way too much. It's also like it's like you use it, but then whenever I see it in a writing, like whenever I'm like reading like maybe like a book or something, and I see someone swear, it immediately
it
takes me
makes you
out of it.
cringe.
It just takes me out of it. Like it just feels
Yeah.
so, like when you read a swear word, it just feels so unnatural. Like I'm literally just sucked out of the work for a second.
Yeah,
Um,
isn't that true? Isn't that true? And that's what your dad was pointing out. He's like, it's just kind of a lowers, even though you always see these articles that like, oh, and cussing shows your intelligence, but that's just people trying to make themselves feel better because they cuss a lot. You know what I mean? They write these articles because they're just writers. They don't care. They don't really know what they're talking about. They're just making up shit as they go. But hey, good to know. We learned a lot today.
yeah,
Bad Bunny
then
is actually a very famous
yeah,
Spotify.
apparently he was bigger than Kendrick, which I didn't even I was literally completely unaware of. I think that Kendrick
Me
just
too.
entered like more memedom through like a lot of the stuff he did, like the
Yeah, yeah. I
but
think you're right
in
too.
like the mustard, all that stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah, like
yeah.
apparently, yeah. So this kind of, I guess, if you look at the numbers here, I mean that would make sense. It's like he also got like guest stars
But
too,
it's
like Ricky Martin, Lady
yeah, Lady
Gaga.
Gaga and Ricky Martin. But Ricky Martin is a very Spanish speaking also.
Yeah,
Ricky Martin's very popular. I remember when he came out when I was young. He used to be in the band Menudo. And then I even remember the band Menudo. I listened to them when I actually remembered Spanish. Now I'm not very good at it. But and then he became his own and then he came out of the closet and is gay and which is fine. No, I mean, I couldn't care less. I have don't care about people being gay or straight or whatever. And he has like kids and
yeah,
stuff. But so I figured, yeah, that was kind of good that they had him. But Lady Gaga, she has become such a big activist. I just get it gets
yeah,
tight. It gets
yeah,
boring.
yeah.
There you go.
Speaking of
It's boring.
Spanish artists, you ever hear of the story of Chalino Sanchez?
No, type it up so I can see it. 'Cause sometimes I don't think you pronounce these words proper.
Chalino Sanchez. I mean, hold up. Chalino Sanchez. Hold on, I'll type it up. Chalino Sanchez. But basically here, it's on video, which is crazy. But literally, so he's performing on stage in Mexico, and
Uh
he
huh.
receives a note that basically says that after his performance, the cartel is going to kill him. Like they are going.
Oh my gosh.
But he like kind of like wipes his eyes. He reads it, and then he just keeps on performing. And then, I mean, when he got out the bar, I think they shot and killed him.
See,
he was very famous, by the way, like incredibly
and this
famous.
is why this is the reason why we have borders, people, is because we don't want the cartel here because they really are bad. Half the time when people start bitching about it, they've never even been to Mexico and see how it is. I've been to
Yeah,
Mexico. Your dad and I have been to Mexico, and we've been to the little crappy towns that show you exactly, that are not touristy areas, that show you the real shit
but
of that. And I feel sorry for the people, though. I mean, I totally do. I just wish we need to work on them having a better laws, get rid of the cartel for them, having them have better economics. But now Mexico City, what were you telling me a thing about Mexico
okay,
City that,
Mexico City. So because of all the tourists, because things are getting very so expensive here in America,
uh-huh,
what people have ended up doing, Americans are like, I'm gonna move down to Mexico, and they go to Mexico City because it's the most tourist friendly city, right? And
yeah,
what ends up happening is because it's such a tourist friendly city, and then all of them go there, and all of them don't know a lick of Spanish. And then all of a sudden
uh-huh.
you got this huge influx of English speakers, and then now the Mexican speakers are like,
They're pissed because
because
everybody speaks English
and
and nobody
they
speaks
don't know a
Spanish.
lick of Spanish like at
Uh-huh.
all. Like it's actually kind of funny
Yeah,
seeing
it's
that
kind of
happen.
like, well, this is kind of what we're dealing
Uno
with
reverse
too.
card right here.
Yeah, it's a Uno reverse card. That's so funny. Anyway, that was it. I just wanted to show the parallels because people are talking about Bad Bunny. And then you see on the internet, like the Google, they're all putting down that's funny. They're all putting down Turning Point USA when you look up just
It's
like,
definitely impressive, I think.
yeah, and I'm like, come on, you guys. That is pretty impressive for just a little hodunk uh YouTube channel, that they're very, and they are very quote unquote patriotic. I guess you could call them the MAGAs, but that's a very, very, very impressive numbers for this little hodunk group that did it like 6 months.
Last minute basically.
Last
But
minute pulled together.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess
But I don't like it. I don't like the parallel
no,
entertainment.
that's why I always do. I actually do dislike overall the concept, or like, we made this platform to own the liberals or whatever, because I feel like
Or the liberals owning the
yeah,
conservatives, because they don't like X.
because to me,
Even,
yeah,
it's
sorry, continue.
stupid.
Yeah, no, because to me, I mean, it happened with Blue Sky and
That's
the
exactly what's
Blue
in
Sky
X right now.
threads. Blue Sky, by the
Uh-huh.
way, like, it's so funny to me. Like, man, not to get off topic, but the it really is like because I see so many people like doing like, oh, we're making this to own these guys, and we're doing this to own these guys. I see it more with the conservative stuff just because like there's more traditionally like leftist media, and most of it sucks doo doo.
I was just going to say most media they've even done statistics like who do you donate to, and the 90% of the employees at these mainstream media donate to the Democrats. So it is very left
Yeah,
leaning.
there's a few series and stuff that I like that are still like objectively incredibly left wing in nature, but
Uh-huh.
it's few and far between. But then like
Uh-huh.
again, I just think because here's the thing is that when at the end of the day, if you're like, I'm gonna own this group, you are focusing more
Yeah.
on trying to do some slam dunk than making something good.
That's exactly my point. That was my point. Now I'm not saying that this halftime show for the Turning
Is
Point
that?
USA was bad. It was good. I don't really know the music. I don't know the artist, and that would have been the same way with Bad Bunny. I have to say there was no humping on each other and no gyrating like they always seem to do now in the halftime for the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl clearly has billions and billions of dollars to do that. It was very low key and it was tastefully done if you're that group. So I can kind of see that they don't want their kids to do it, but I just think why? The Super Bowl is losing it. They're losing the middle people. Do you know what I mean? It's like why are you doing that? Why are you separating
But
so much? It bothers me that this is where we're at. It really
yeah,
does.
the whole thing um about it. Yeah, it's just yeah, you become split media, and most of the time it ends up sucking. Uh
Really, it does. Yeah, because then you go into this echo chamber where all these people will just they're continuing in their echo chamber. Just like that thing that I sent you with Benny whatever his name is. And it's just like they misrepresent to skew their side, and then the left will misrepresent to skew their side, and it's just like nobody. the truth is not being really spoken. Can we just like stop it already? Because it sounds like children in the sandbox, and it's like this is I'm drawing my line
Well,
right
my
here. This is my side. No,
it's
that's
almost
your
like playing
side.
pretend. It's like, well, my superhero is da 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 da. Well, mine actually is cooler than yours because he's got ba 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 ba.
Yeah, and if we're ever going to heal, if we are ever going to heal, we have to find the common grounds. And the Super Bowl dropped the ball in my
And
no pun intended, that they dropped the ball that they could have done that. It could have been a really united front. And maybe they should have found like bands from the 90s again and done something old school or done something like Jelly Roll. Again, I bring up him because he's popular on every side. He doesn't claim to be one or the other. Like when he did his Grammy, he's like, God doesn't have a political party. God doesn't belong to one political party. You know what I mean? And so it's like, yeah,
I don't
you're
know.
right.
Can we
It's
get
like,
the weekend or something?
oh, The Weekend, yeah.
Yeah.
See, do you know what I mean? Like these people that aren't like they're like Lady Gaga. She's become an activist. The singers that are not these crazy activists on either side. Like Kid Rock. I mean, come on, he's an activist for the MAGA or whatever
Well,
group. You know what I mean? So I'm done with these
yeah.
activists. I want just regular the people that bring the people together. Just like we said when we talked about it, 8 months ago when Bad Bunny was coming on, when we first heard about it, we're like, stop the
Yeah.
division. Just stop
That's
it.
true. Also, we've been
I
going
do.
for 44 minutes. You wanna?
Oh, well, we better get going
Yeah, I
then.
was gonna say.
Nobody's going to want to watch it to the end.
All right.
But
Anyways,
all right.
I
That's it. We
think we're
got it
pretty
long.
good.
We didn't mean to do it long, but it is what it is.
All right. We'll see you guys later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.